That's
Hello.
amazing.
Sorry, as I was admiring. Hello, all, and welcome to the Emerald Collective channel. I'm Ben, your GM for tonight, where we're going to be diving into, once again, the ShadowDark RPG. It's been a while since we've been live with this campaign, so this is coming a bit late, but I would like to take a moment to congratulate ShadowDark creator and publisher Kelsey Dione, who well, when I wrote this, it was the night after, but who won recently, won big with ShadowDark at the Ennie Awards, snagging well-deserved wins for best layout and design, best rules, best game, and product of the year. I'm a big fan of the system, so just wanted to congratulate the creator for that. It's very well deserved. Before we get to rolling the dice, just a few announcements up top. Our Patreon is live. We're offering original monsters, magic items, and maps to use in your games each month. You can also get early access to our podcasts, shout outs on stream, and bonus content, as well as discounts on select items at drivethroughrpg.com and on commissions from our cartographer, It's a Map, and Zorp's Art, who created all our awesome Patreon art. We've also added a $1 tier now for those that would like to show their support but can't stretch to the $5 or $10 tier. However, if you don't have any coin spare to pledge, fear not, you can still give our Patreon a follow and get a free original monster and magic item for your trouble. Plus, even more free content on occasion throughout the year, so make sure you stick around. And we can't wait to share all the gems of the Emerald collection with you. Episode 10 of our first podcast, No Silver Linings, a Call of Cthulhu story set in 1920s Ireland by Mark Corrigan of Chinook Games, is available wherever you get your podcasts. And after something very peculiar along the Silver Mines mountain trail, the investigators trudge to the muddy terrain in the pouring rain to see what is going on up there. Accompanied by Peter Houlihan, who believes that there is something in the mines that is responsible for taking Jack Sullivan, the group discover something shocking. A shocking discovery in Call of Cthulhu. I'm shocked. If you can't wait for the next installment, though, episode 11 is available right now for Patreon subscribers at the Jeweler tier before it goes on general release on all of the regular platforms on Wednesday. If you want to stay up to date on everything Emerald Collective, the best way to do that is to come on by our Discord community. And speaking of community, I want to give a big shout out to our patron, Keen Scully, tonight. Thank you so much for your support. We really do appreciate it. Here on Twitch, we stream several times every week, so take a little bit of a look at what's to come in the week ahead. Heirs to the Hand returns this Thursday with episode 24, Plentiful Potential Planar Ponderings. I say that 5 times fast. After dealing with personal business back in the colony, the party come together to visit the Warforged X1 at the Astral Observatory and explore the paths ahead of them. Will they decide to pursue the clues left behind by the Order of Purifying Flame? Or perhaps they'll travel across the astral sea to realm space to a place called Candlekeep, where they might learn more about a strange gravitational anomaly they found in the astral. You can find out what happens next on October 10th. Sophrone Saga continues on Friday, and the party are in the midst of a fierce battle at the Dwergar outpost. With the life cleric, Mesulus down after an arcane cannon self-destructed, the Dwergar heavy snipers are inflicting serious damage. Can the party overcome this threat and locate the Mind Flayer colony that holds the temple guards they've been sent to rescue? Or will the Drow House Zastas return with a war party and drag them back to their lightless city to face justice for murdering their scouts? Finally, you can catch the latest session of Arcane Adventures in Andromedus next Tuesday. That's October 15th. The party have breached the Hole, an ancient dungeon that is seemingly flooded with goblin cultists. After managing to solve the door's puzzle lock to gain entrance, our party were assaulted by strange looking goblins with markings possibly connected to the cult like religion spreading into the region. Having stopped for a short rest, the party must weigh up their options: press on and risk encountering the drow mentioned in Togg's letter, or retreat and seek assistance from the Ravenites that set up in Novus. And will Ilara bloody her hands? And stay tuned. If you like our shows and you haven't subbed already, please consider doing so, as it really helps us out and allows us to keep playing RPGs with friends and making fools of ourselves for your amusement on the internet. And thanks to those of you who are subbed, this wouldn't be possible without you. A reminder that you can use your subscriptions, as well as channel points and bits, to influence the game, providing up to 3 single-use boon, luck tokens, and healing to any of the players, or to me, the GM, if you like rooting for the bad guys, and who doesn't? And, I mean, especially in ShadowDark, got to follow Dave's example, heal all my monsters. Justice for the mole people. And details for all of that can be found directly down below. While we're on the subject of you lovely people and your much appreciated support, last Sunday just passed, marked the founding of the Emerald Collective, which we celebrated with a live chat, which you can find on VOD on our Twitch right now. Also, this coming Sunday, the 13th, will be the anniversary of our first ever stream, and we're just 8 followers away from 400, and if we could hit that goal for the end of this birthday week, it really would mean the world to us. Now, for tonight's game, the party's characters were created using ShadowDarklings.net, an excellent resource that makes character creation for this system a breeze. Tonight's stream features art by Dean Spencer, used with permission. Thank you to Tabletop Audio for the music you're hearing right now, to Christian for his awesome intro, and to Cyber Sasquatch for their very helpful ShadowDark character sheet for Roll20. And last, but certainly not least, many thanks to Kate for her tech wizardry and incredible overlays. Now, without excuse me, without any further ado, let's meet our wonderful cast and get rolling. I am going to just go with who is here in my top right. Freya.
Hello, how are you? Yes, I am Freya. You see me everywhere. I'm sorry, but it's just how it is. I am playing Vara. She is my half orc fighter. It's been a long time since I've gotten a chance to play her. She is a woman of few words, usually attack first and ask questions after, but she's starting to ask questions now more, and she's starting to get quite attached to this little group that she's in. Still untrusting of the new friend though. Just gonna be wary, but yeah, she'll keep an eye.
Mm-hmm. Well, next up, if I'm going out now, we have Nelly.
Hi guys, I'm Nelly. I'm playing Warson Sumler. She is a human priest and similar. She's also kind of wary of this new friend, maybe friend, possibly, saboteur, who knows. But she really regrets leaving her where she comes from and joining these lands because nothing but terrible things has happened since she's come here. So some regrets. So there are some regrets.
A test of faith for sure.
Hell yeah.
And speaking of this weird little friend that everyone's wary of, Wayne.
Hello, I'm Wayne, and I'm playing Bram, the halfling ranger. And I've only been with the group literally for the best part of a day. I've helped them weed out some kind of uneasy things, and are still kind of just sussing them out. But I'm trustworthy. I honestly. So I'm now just traveling with them to the city, and I have my own agenda. So.
Supposedly an agenda of goblin anthropology.
Yes. So Bram is an anthropologist who studies goblins. So that's what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he latches bear traps onto the heads of, vicious pigmen barbarians from the mountains that you encountered.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many anthropologists do that? I only know 3. We? We? Oh, come play ShadowDark with me.
What? That's not ominous at all.
Oh god, what is this?
Oh, we're screwed.
Oh, my music was not on loop. That's why it was not. That's why it had stopped. So, yes, on to, as I said, it has been a while. Oh yes. Also, sorry. Speaking of that, Kate. Sorry, I didn't get to the message. I do. You'll have to trust me. I don't know if it says it on screen, but my notes here say that I have 1 luck token and 3 boons. I've got 3.
3.
Trust me.
You're
gonna have to trust me. You can look at my notes. So,
Oh no. Oh no.
yes,
This
as I
is
say,
this
it
is
has
those moles
been
coming
been
back
some
now.
time.
No.
Yeah, it is. It's been a bit. It's been a bit. And the party, having originally set out on their quest, I suppose, slightly imposed upon them to bring the people of Six Widows, the remaining survivors of the town of Six Widows, down in the valley, to safety. They have escorted them through the subterranean tunnels of the Underhollow, and now with Bram's help, up through the mountains to their destination, the highland town of Drakengrave, a mountain town built built around the it's not in the center of town, but the site that the town was founded on was built around a dragon skeleton, and which is also surrounded by hot springs, and said to be the spilled blood of the dragon, said to be the pooling and bubbling of the dragon, said to be the hot. So, yeah, we were looking for sanctuary. There was a lot of children in the party, the infirm, sick, all of them fleeing the terrible Ironblood Legion, led by Thula Ironblood, or the Crimson Queen, leader of a horde of marauding goblinoids. So, yes, we've come here with those survivors, and last we left off after Bram had helped them navigate the mountains. They encountered some beastmen, and we're just cresting the hill up to the town. There had been some tragedy along the way, more than just the tragedy that befell the town of Six Widows. But personally, the party's thief, Bobbin, was sadly crystallized, turned into a sort of glass statue by the bite of a terrible subterranean serpent. So their crystallized form has been traveling along with you, rather gruesomely, regularly attended by the party's wizard, Winter, who has been sort of poring over it and reading texts that she had brought with her, and she's also been consulting with the druid Tolov, who was something of the elder of Six Widows. So that is what had been going on your journey, but exhausted and ready to collapse as the sun is kind of getting low in the sky. It's getting to dusk as you reach the gates of Drakengrave, and just as not a map, but just a little stage setting image for us all. This fantastic piece of art by Dean Spencer would give you a kind of an idea of the architecture of Drakengrave. Where is my zoom window gone? There we go. So, yes, you find yourselves as you're approaching the gate. You will see that the gates are open, and there is a group of half a dozen, maybe more, people sort of standing in a row at the threshold of the town, and you can see a crowd of sort of curious onlookers forming behind them. But you're at present, you're maybe a few hundred feet from the gate now, but as you've crested the hill, you've seen them. So here you find yourselves. What are you going to do?
Would there be anyone I recognize? Because I've frequented this place before, so I kind of know some of the denizens. Is there anyone there that I recognize or can see that I know?
You would recognize. I don't know how well you'd know them on a personal level, beyond just a bit of a, more of a business relationship. I don't know, but you recognize quite a few of the people. The wait, sorry, have we lost
Something is going
names?
absolutely crazy on Twitch there.
Oh, really? Like,
Yeah, the stream elements. Somebody, just loads
Somebody's
of
just
people
gone
have.
absolutely mental. Oh my goodness.
So like the level of subscription has just gone through the roof.
Whoa.
Oh my
What?
God.
I mean,
Why-
I'm not going to say it coincided when I exactly started to talk, but it just happened to happen
I
just
wasn't
as I
looking.
started
I
talking.
thought
It's
something
just
was. I
50
thought something was.
gifted subs, guys.
Jesus Christ! I thought something was wrong. I thought I was
Oh.
like, oh, it's like, oh, are we off air or something? When you're like,
I
this,
thought so too, because I'm like,
something is
what's
wrong
going
with
on?
the stream.
Something's
Oh my God.
that
Do you
is
trust
very
me
cool.
now? Do you trust me now?
No,
My
because you've
character
clearly
doesn't
paid
know.
somebody.
Yeah. It's
My
a
God.
it's a ruse, a whole ruse.
My God,
That's
I have no
really
idea.
cool.
That was for on your end.
that,
He's in stream. Thank you so much.
Thank
thank
you.
you. Oh my God!
That's insane.
Whoa.
Wow,
That is
that is
hella
that is-
crazy.
oh my God!
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I can't really I can't adequately respond to that.
That's.
Um,
I think we've peaked. Good night.
Yeah. We
that's-
should do like a dance or something. I don't know. I feel like that's like a big
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you so much. As Freya said, it's a nice anniversary gift. What a it's a good birthday present for PC. Boons, boons for all. Yeah, I think that's we can't give out 50 boons for the sub, but we'll certainly a boon for everyone.
There you go.
And also you could take a. I mean,
Awesome.
I think for that much we could take a luck token as well for everyone. I think there's actually on Roll20 sheets. There's a little toggle for the
There is. It's next to where it says stats, I think. Is that correct? So on the
Yeah,
card
there we
is-
go.
It is,
Awesome.
yeah,
That's an
49
unlock.
boons. So yeah, is that homebrew?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 49 boons.
Nice.
Yeah.
No boons for
God.
the mole people. How dare you?
Zero for
No
mole
boon.
people. There are no more
Um,
mole
for the
people.
mole
They don't
people,
exist
yeah.
anymore.
Exactly. We have
Exactly, yeah,
eliminated them
and-
all.
No,
And
none
the-
exist.
do you
so
need-
yeah, the luck tokens, ShadowDark's.
Do you need me to roll anything just to see if I see anyone, or is there anyone in particular that I might recognize,
can-
be it guards or people?
Well, would you roll me a wisdom check anyway, just to kind of get a sense? You will again. You'll recognize many
There we go.
many of the faces.
Oh.
No, because I've got a 0 on wisdom.
Me now.
Um,
Just doing that. Yeah, sorry, because some people were perhaps confused. It's not necessary. I mean, maybe roleplay wise, it's not necessary for like class feature wise for a ranger to have wisdom in ShadowDark. It's your intelligence determines your how you do your little your herbalism and these kind of things. So sorry, we got 50 literacy. So we got do we have a like a max of how do we have a max, Dave, of how many in the chat of how many boons
per
I
person.
think this is
can have at
uncharted
once?
territory, so it might need to be discussed.
Very- yeah, because I feel like there's a risk of us having too much power. You know.
Well, like,
there was the
I'm here
discussion,
for
and
it.
now I can't.
Sure.
Yes, it was 3. Yeah, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to say. Well, I think I already have 3 apparently, but yes, 3.
Okay.
We could get everyone up to the max of 3 boons and 1 luck token.
Oh,
cool.
awesome.
Everyone is just maxed out. Really, everyone's gonna get maxed out for their
Max.
Phenomenal cosmic
and
power.
do you know what? Let me
And we have advantage on a
everyone
roll or
a
something.
D4.
Yes, that would be nice. Wee boons. Okay.
Roll a d4?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh my god.
It's happening again.
Oh
Everyone roll a
wow!
D4.
What?
The hype train has been hyped up.
Okay,
Oh my god.
right.
That is
So,
crazy.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say everyone roll a D4 and you can have that many sort of like temp hit points as well, just
okay.
above
I'll
your
roll a
max.
d4. Roll a d4.
Bring back the mole folk, yeah. We're gonna get
Uh,
a mole folk.
Rory.
Town's gonna get a
I don't like these digital dice. They're
No,
not very
neither do
nice.
I. I'm
no.
the
Oh my
same.
God.
Digital dice suck balls.
Yeah, the digital dice are on my side. I'll take
There you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Look.
They've got
That's
one of
fine.
our
Oh my God,
backs.
this is-
Yeah.
fine.
So
Yeah,
that's
this
like
is-
temporary HP then to like plus that.
Yeah, well. Hey,
Jeez.
Oh my god.
No,
Um,
no pressure on the
this is
game. We better live
insane.
up to all this hype in the chat. But there you
Before I
go.
Yeah,
set
come
something
on.
up.
We'll
Uh,
start
so
preparing.
Who in the crowd do I recognize, if anyone,
yeah.
with that really bad role?
Now, you recognize most of the people that you recognize. It's difficult to see the crowd in the back, um, but up front, um, maybe some others it's a little bit harder to make out. But you are definitely seeing what are essentially the council. This is the council of Drakengrave. So the town leaders. You're seeing. We can. I'll give you this, info. You can copy paste it in. You're seeing. Um, there is Rowan Riverglint, who is a prospector and trader. They. We can give a little rundown of them. um, they are a representative at the council of a prospecting collective up here. So their family has a long tradition of gold panning up in the mountains. Rowan, they are a sort of middle-aged human, slender but with whipcord muscle, suntanned skin, mud brown hair, bleached blonde in parts by the sun. It's swept back straight to the nape of their neck, and there are small scars here and there on their palms and fingers. And you notice that they are each of them is wearing in some capacity some kind of tartan. They don't necessarily all have like a plaid, a kind of a cloak, or a kilt or anything, but they might display it as a cape, or they might have like some item of clothing. But yes, they are wearing like a watery blue and gold as their tartan. You also see next to them there is a rather scrunched figure. There is Hamish Hornfoot, the elderly halfling goat herd. He's the largest goat farmer, the largest goat herd in the vicinity. He's a shock of unruly white hair, scraggly beard, no mustache, and bushy eyebrows, cracked, leathery bronze skin, and large knuckled, thickly calloused hands. He's humped backed and forever leaning on his well maintained, like a shepherd's axe, if you've ever seen one of those, with a leather wrapped haft of hard blackthorn wood. And he is wearing, in much the traditional fashion, his tartan, which is grass green and mud brown. Also standing there, he was very recognizable, is Lothar Gveld, a tanner and a scout for Drakengrave. You're thinking almost certainly the person who spotted you at a distance and has, obviously gathered them. Lothar is he is an orc, you'd say maybe about his 30s. You're not entirely sure, but he looks about that age. Lothar is an albino orc. He's snow white skin and ice blue eyes, very tall, lanky. Also, he's completely hairless. You're only really familiar with him by reputation. You've never spoken to him, but he's hard to miss. He is, to your knowledge, the only orc that you saw living in Drakengrave. It would be unusual. And also there's quite a few of them, but you know them all, so, or you're familiar with them by sight, having spent time here, and this is the council. There is Orna Stormhawk, the local wind singer, so a bard, a human woman in her late 30s, pale and raven-haired. Her hair is long, sleek, and straight, sort of dancing in the wind. As you approach, and she's got emerald green eyes, and the right of these eyes is framed by runic tattoos, wearing a light grey, almost white tartan checked with sky blue. There is another distinct figure, which might be give the rest of you a bit of pause, not necessarily Bram, is Dorian Rezka. You know him as the watch captain of Drakengrave, but he is an elderly male hobgoblin.
Oh.
Like the same as the Crimson Queen who slaughtered 6 widows. His burnt orange skin with a bulbous blue nose, a drooping left eyelid above one milky eye. His charcoal hair still got his color in his hair. It's tied back in a neat bun and trimmed rigidly at the sides. He is standing there with a watchful eye. You also see Blair Buzzer Goldencomb. She is the tavern keeper and a famous brewer of mead. She's a very short, elderly dwarf, puffy and ruddy skin, and her once honey-colored hair has now gone to a faded platinum blonde. It is cut short and it's rather spiky on top. Same for her beard, her chin. Is also this sort of spiky platinum blonde, and she is wearing very boldly colored tartan of golden, yellow, and black. So she just looks like a bumblebee staring at you. And as you're approaching, she's really, really mean mugging you, as is Hamish Hornfoot, the halfling goat herd. And the other
Just
two council members
me personally, or the
just
group?
everyone. Yeah, just
Okay.
everyone.
Oh.
You've definitely been to the inn. It's the Hive and Hearth. I mean, it really is. It's the heart of the town. So you've seen her
Yeah.
face a lot. Everybody knows Buzzer. So Connor Mooncloak, local healer, and the steward of the hot springs at Drakengrave. He's a young adult, kind of young. I mean, I'm not sure age-wise. You wouldn't really be sure necessarily kind of age-wise, but he's a dwarf, but a young adult as far as dwarves go. You couldn't say exactly that they just age differently to the humans and halflings. He's clean-shaven and bald, by choice, so he says, evidenced by dense, dark stubble on his head. He has unblemished olive skin, save for a deep, disfiguring scar on his lower jaw, and his lower lip and jaw, and there are some missing teeth from where the scar runs. And he is wearing a tartan of midnight blue and very bright white. Almost seems to sort of glow in the fading light of the day. There is also Sister Edith, a local cleric of you again an interest in anthropology. She's a cleric of because everyone sort of practices ancestor worship, but there are a few saints. Most important, which is she is the cleric of Saint Brigida, the warrior bride. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Nelly.
Yeah, I was hoping for Saint Tragnus. Like, give me something.
They might. She is again a middle-aged human. She's wears a white veiled headdress, hiding hooped braids of dark brown hair. Her copper-skinned hands are tattooed from fingertip to elbow, which is rather waifish. Although she does not display a tartan, and you would know as an anthropologist, because you were rather curious about this, and I think you are from the Highlands. She does not display tartan as a cleric, and when she gave up her individual family name. But heading the entourage, awaiting you in town, is the chieftain of Drakengrave, Gideon Ashbourne. He is a dwarf in sort of his late middle age. He has stone grey dreadlocks and beard, amber eyes which stand out rather, starkly against his dark brown skin, thick neck, broad shoulders, a bolder gut, coarse and bountiful body hair. His tartan is an ash grey and ember orange. You can see him, he's standing there. He is wearing a sword at his hip. He's not brandishing it or anything, but he's wearing his ceremonial sword. And so, yes, this is a very interesting retinue that has come to meet you. You would be able to at least give a passing sort of description to your to your compatriots.
Yeah,
So,
not
yes,
friends.
this is the
not
castle
friends.
of Drakengrave.
Yeah, so I mean, I clocked them obviously. I mean, they're obviously all laid standing out, and this wouldn't be the norm where the entire council is laid out to meet everyone coming into the town. I take it this isn't like the
No.
general welcome wagon that they have.
Generally, the gates would
Yeah.
be open. There might be one, maybe two town
Mm.
watchmen, watch folk.
And
Um,
are they flanked by guards in any way, shape, or form? Is there a large guard presence here, or is it
there
just the
doesn't
council?
there doesn't appear you can't see a large guard presence. It's the council. There's a
Okay.
couple of guards at the gate. You'd
Yeah.
say realistically, you can maybe make out 3 or 4, which is probably double the amount that there normally is. There's, if you had to guess, there's probably about a dozen people in the town watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the town does seem to be out in force behind looky-loos.
Right.
And they certainly, well, they don't look, they're obviously gathered here. They don't look surprised that there's,
Okay.
100 odd people traipsing up the mountain. But I suppose it's difficult to miss.
I relay all of that information to everyone. I say, look, this is the town council. It's like I can't remember if I played this guy Scottish. I'm just going to go with it. But
I think you did, yeah.
right, this is the council. I don't know if what they're doing out here. I mean, obviously, quite a large entourage ourselves, but maybe approach with diplomacy, which is not my strong point. So I'll kind of hang back a wee bit and step in when needed to give a wee aye or nay. So away you go. And I kind of shoved you off to one side.
Okay. I think Warson will kind of take his words into account and just think, okay, then I have my long sword, but I'm not trying to reach for it. I'll walk a bit forward towards the group, and perhaps stop like a few feet ahead and before them and say, I'll call out and say, I imagine you've been expecting some refugees. These good people need somewhere to stay. I hope you can help us.
So, and Gideon Ashbourne, the chieftain, he steps forward. Abedias is his hands behind his back. He says, "Well, we weren't expecting refugees. Not until dawn this morning, when he gestures at Lothor Gveld, the orc, until the Lothor spotted your revenue in the distance. It says we'll have to decide what we're going to do with you. There's quite a lot. Sure, if we can keep you here long term, but we can certainly offer you shelter and safety for tonight at least. But you've come at something of a good time. You've caught some of our less some of our more pragmatic council members at a generous time. It is the eve of the feast of Saint Hearn Half-Brother. There'll be festivities in the morning, but as I say, we can find a place for you tonight. And in the meantime, I think it's best if, and he kind of is looking at you, Warson, and some of the others, do you represent these people? And he looks, and having a gauge of the people, he says,
well,
these people of 6 widows.
Yes, but I'm sure you've heard, for on South there has been desolation. These people have nowhere to stay, so we would appreciate anything. I'll look around. I wouldn't say that we represent them, but we want to help them and make sure they have safe passage in any shape and form.
Well, says that, bring you into the gates. I'm sure you can appreciate that we'll have to keep a close eye on you. So many people arriving into town at once.
Injured people, children. I'm sure you understand.
Tired, hungry people.
Vara, just keep your hands on
Sorry.
your
It
axe.
says, well, and the Hamish Hornfoot, the halfling, this has shuffled up his little blackthorn shepherd's axe. He says, "Aye, hungry people, desperate. They're like to snatch food out of our mouths."
Hold your wished, good farmer.
The point
You've got enough stalks in for your festival. You can feed a few hungry bairns. Why don't you go tend to your flock?
I'll tend to your ass.
Try it,
Gideon.
little one.
And I'll
Gideon.
just very quietly drop the bear trap on a
Yeah.
rope on the ground and let it clang.
Hornfoot, enough. And he looks at the bear trap. I don't take kindly to threats. on
We
our
don't take
doorstep.
kindly to thinking that we're going to steal and anything like that as untoward. It's not why we are here.
Well,
Said we are just trying to help these people, and I'll just show my holy symbol. I am a person of faith, similar to some of you. I would not do anything untoward, and I doubt any of us would do anything as well.
And we have protected these people through a lot. We do not wish for them to be harmed. And she'll stare at that little halfling, especially by little ones.
he'll look at Hamish. Well, I can promise you that no harm will come to these people under my watch.
Good.
Thank you.
But as I say, I cannot promise that we can provide hospitality indefinitely. But, as I say, make yourselves warm and dry in Drakengrave tonight. Your representatives can speak to the council in the long hall tonight. You can tell us what exactly happened at Six Widows. We saw only smoke and rumors.
Thank you.
He'll say that, he'll say to gesture to sort of lead you on, and the people are sort of murmuring, and says, "One, folk, disperse. Back to your homes. Get some rest. There's a festival in the morning." And as he's walking back, Hamish is there saying, "Oh, is it? Are we going to? There's there's thousands of them. How are we gonna feed them all? This is
So stingy.
I know. And the others, so you hear buzzer buzzing, and some of the others. Actually, Nelly, could you give me a wisdom check for
Okay.
Orson, please?
Let's do a little wisdom. I mean, 11? Could have been worse.
Yeah, you thought, you can't say what, but you thought when you said you were also a person of faith, like some of you, the cleric kind of couldn't fully, you're not really sure what the look was, but they kind of threw a look your way.
Try to clock me.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah. As you're going complaining, he's like, Gideon Ashbourne sort of brushes off Hamish as you're making your way to the council chambers, to the long hall up on the hill, well, on the kind of crest of a hill. Gideon turns to and it's some attendant of his, he says, points to me, says, "See that," he goes, "take," says, "10 of my goats, them slaughtered." He looks at the crowd, children, "See that they're fed." And then he says, offers Can't offer much, but there's barns to sleep in for the night. They can go there while we retire to the long hall to speak privately. Come.
As long as there is proper shelter for them, they'll be comfortable, some food and rest for them, and that's the most important, and any medical attention that they might need,
Hearing
we would
Hamish
appreciate.
muttering.
She will throw him the
prop-
dirtiest of looks, and
proper
she will
shelter.
memorize his
Insinuating my
face.
barn's holes in the roofs. Where do you think we are up here? Hillbillies.
Can I take a step towards him to try to frighten him?
Ooh,
can.
intimidation.
Give me a, I suppose, give me a charisma.
Oh no.
Um,
Vara's not charismatic.
What's the worst that could happen?
It's a 10. Nothing happens.
yeah. What do you step?
The 4, but he turns away.
Yeah, he's kind of looking. You got to step. You know. He says, ah, and he doesn't look at you like take a step. Step towards him. And he's just like, ah, I've climbed harder than you.
Climb me, not have you. She's keeping
Yeah.
her mouth shut as much as possible because she knows the people need the help.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Oh.
mention healing. As you're going, there is the Connor Mooncloak, the healer, the dwarven man with the clean shaven head. He approaches. He speaks to somebody, and he says, I do apologize. He says that he says, of course, if you're injured, I can attend to them personally later, but I'll have some of the other healers, and he said he says somebody talk to Violet and get some, says, and kind of sends them to the crowd. Eventually, you make your way to the long hall, and as you were going through the town, there was I forgot to change this. But as dusk falls softly initially, anyway, starts to rain. Oh God, sorry.
Can I
Music
just
come in?
would there be anyone in the group of the council that I would know, do you think, more than others, as with my dealings with the town? Is there anyone in particular that like with my role as the anthropologist and investigating the goblins in the area and knowing their clans? I kind of feel that Bram would be kind of like a go-between to a degree, but also be kind of like a stopgap of saying, right, well, the goblins aren't going to attack this townstead because it's somewhere I frequent and I've made a deal on behalf of them. Is there somebody, say, in the town's guard, or even the clerics or the healers, that I would have a kind of a treaty with, that you would think I'd know better than other ones?
Just somebody that you would have had dealings with that you could, you think, impress upon.
Just impress upon, just to kind of to say, look, this is a requirement to do, like, just to talk to them outside of, because I mean, I'm not really, like, I'm tagging along to this point, but I'm also now invested in the refugees to a degree and in the story of who this group are. So I want to make sure that they at least get a good seeing to a good deal, and I'm very much aware that the grumpy halfling is going to try and stick his oar in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you can certainly. I mean, Bram is also, obviously you go to the long haul as well, and make your case along with the rest of them. But anyway, just give me a d20, just a d20 roll.
Yeah.
Sort of a bit of a
13.
The highest roll this night.
Yeah. So it goes in your favor. You've actually spoken. You didn't really get much out of him, but you have spoken to the orc, Lothor, about obviously your dealings, up in the mountains and with this kind of mountain clan of goblins. About the goblins that live in Stonehome that you were dealing with, or that were going to deal with. And obviously, since he had been out and about as a scout, you'd know all about that. And there's a couple of other people around town that once you're out of the long haul, I suppose, and once we're mingling, you could have words with. Oh, hey, Rep has joined the chat. Sorry, yeah. Hopefully we're accompanying you for you. So, yes, you speak to Lothor. You can try to have a word on the way to the long haul.
Sure. Yeah, I can kind of sidle up beside him.
So this is the Lothor is the albino dwarf. He's quite tall, slender. He's not muscular like as muscular as, or as kind of as I don't want to say I don't want. I was going to call Vara bulky. That sounds rude. But he's lanky. He's
Solid.
lanky. Like
Sure, sinewy.
Yeah, sinewy. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it all right? The old goat herder seems to have a wee stick up his arse, more so than usual.
I was going to say, yeah. When does he not? Yeah.
Well, I take it. I understand the festival's tomorrow, but these people are hurting. They need help, and I know a word from you will go a long way. I mean, there's nowhere else around here. If they go north, they're going to run to the goblin clans, and my word only carries so much, even there. So there's few ports they can go to get help, and this is one of the more friendly ones. Goat herders with acceptance, I suppose.
He says, Lothar had to think. He says, well, said, I shouldn't speak outside of the long haul, but for what it's worth, said, I would vote for them to stay. These Vale folk, they know much about farming and agriculture that we do not. Perhaps they could teach us some things, help in times when hunting and foraging is less reliable up here in the mountains in the winter. But I will say my piece, but I can make no guarantees.
And if any trouble comes following them, having numbers in the town that can pick up arms and defend it, it's worth taking the risk.
And he's looking at Hamish and others. Says, yes, but there will certainly be those who will say that they will bring the trouble to our door.
Only a wee money bastard of a man, bitter and twisted, keeps friendships with goats.
I mean, he can be sorted.
Is that what they call these days? Friendship.
Lothar gives Vara the eye. Yeah.
Just saying, I could help.
Are we also walking along with Gideon as well?
Generally, I suppose you're all kind of walking together. It's not far. You're nearly at the doors now, but you can say anything you wish before you get there.
Yeah. As close as his guard will let me get to, I want to just approach him and say, we did start on the wrong foot, but I just want to properly introduce myself. My name is Warson. You can call me Warson. That's enough, truly. And my colleague there, Vara, she means well. She has a good heart. We all do. We're not even originally from Six Widows, but we were there when they were under attack, and we felt compelled to help. So I just want to explain why we're so invested in these people's safety.
It's admirable to stand, but these people of Drakengrave, are my responsibility. And ultimately, I must do what I think is right. But if my people, if my kin, it is not solely up to me. This is a democratic process.
Mhm.
My people will have their say. Your people will have their say. And we shall see what will be done.
That's all we ask. Thank you.
And for what it's worth, I do pity these poor people. And I'm sorry for their misfortune. And if I have to turn them away, trust me when I say it will not sit well with me.
Oh, and when he says that, I'm gonna take a few steps back and join Var and Brown, just to relay what he said. If they may have not heard him, we need to be as level-headed as possible to convince him to help these people.
Well, then I better not say anything. If they cannot
I
show
mean-
gratitude and kindness and see what these people have gone through and see their women and children, and she's just going to get herself worked up and she's going to calm down. Just
Well, I mean, if I might step in a wee bit here, take a look around at this town. It's made up of lost people, all sorts of different races, creeds, from all parts of the land. This land was founded by refugees. So they have to have some form of empathy to other people that their kin once had. We just have to convince them that there was a time where they were knocking on doors looking for help.
But this is why
And
I'm kind of angry at them for even suggesting,
well,
because they're coming into the exact same position like they did. Their fours.
Well, if you think
I'm
about it,
sorry. I'm just so annoyed at them.
they built up this town from nothing, and now somebody's coming knocking on their door looking for help. It's natural. It's only instinct. We just have to convince them that these people are worthy, which is not going to be hard. Don't worry about that grumpy little bastard. I'll sort him out.
I
I
can
think
sort them
Varl
out. You just give me
will
the
do that
Well,
nod.
first.
no.
Yeah.
I can sort him out quietly. Teach him a lesson. Make him
Right.
understand that if
I
he
can
does
do
not
it
follow,
quietly.
With a goat?
well,
You just
Well-
give me the nod if it doesn't work out for you.
right. I've got a wee plan to deal with him and distract him a wee bit. Maybe down the line we'll need to do that. But for now, worse than you do your thing, I'll stand back. I don't have the sharpest of tongues when it comes to diplomacy. I'm a wee bit more thorny. It's why I'm good with goblins. But
Well,
I will tell you now, their leader's a good person.
Okay.
He will help you.
Okay. He certainly seemed like a decent man, which is a good start.
The cleric will help as well. They just want to heal and help out people. What was the GM? What was the name of? There was a healer, but then there was a priestess.
The cleric, the priestess, Sister Edith.
What was her deity again?
It is Saint Brigida, the warrior
Brigida.
bride.
The warrior bride. Do we know? Do I know anything about, like, as with my anthropology? Do I know anything about?
Your as an anthropologist, I think she is the kind of person who bothers you, in that you'd be very interested in the traditions of the Highlanders. It wouldn't even be that she'd convert someone, but she'd be quite close-minded, at least insofar as maybe other people's faith, you know.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
But does her faith?
The healer, Connor Mooncloak, it's more of it's just a physical, like, he's literally, like, it's up there in the hot springs. It's more of a
Holistic.
non-religious. It's there's a spiritual element to it, but he's not a cleric in that, so he's not a priest. You know,
Would I have an inkling, knowing the town, who in the council would be leaning like lawful good, lawful neutral,
I'm gonna
wanker,
say if give
that type
me
of thing?
lawful wanker, yeah. Give
Yeah.
me
Someone that Farah
give
can
me
kill.
Yeah.
no, give me wisdom, just
Mm.
because it'd be something equivalent, to make sort of an intuitive
11.
guess.
Hmm.
You couldn't say for everyone. There'd be some more kind of obvious ones, like you wouldn't be again Hamish Hornfoot, the halfling goat herd.
Hmm.
You're thinking, well, already it does. You don't need an 11 to
Yeah.
determine that. You would
What a dick.
could go either way. You'd be a bit iffy with Rowan Riverglint, the
Hmm.
representative of the prospecting like collective cooperative. Just could kind of go either way, especially somebody who's obviously has an economic kind of interest.
Yeah.
Lothor the orc has told you kind of where he stands. He thinks, look, it's probably long term be beneficial. The people down in the Vales have a good idea of they're much better agriculturalists than we are. He's a scout, he's a hunter, a tanner, a forager. They don't really do as much farming. They do a bit, but it's difficult up here. The cleric, Orna Stormhawk, yeah, you get. Oh no, sorry, that's Sister Edith. You couldn't be sure about Orna Stormhawk, the bard. You don't really, beyond her playing in the pub and you know carousing and gallivanting, you couldn't really say. No idea about the hobgoblin. Really, he could
Yeah.
easily go no because he's the head of the watch. He's the captain of the watch. Could be
Yeah.
seen as a security risk.
So okay.
And
So
then
Bram is gonna Bram is gonna
Buzzer,
Bram,
the old crotchety
yeah.
one who runs the inn.
Yeah.
You don't know. She's
Yeah.
crotchety, and the cleric probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe,
I think
or she could be
War-
quite open-handed. It's difficult to
Yeah.
say.
Well, Bram is going to turn to Warsaw and say, look, the way I would approach it, you've already been told. You talk to the leader, you've talked to them, and I've talked to my orc friend, and they've given us an idea that they want to help, but approach it from an economic point of view. They've got a prospecting family here in this town. They're miners. They need a workforce. The more people they have working for them, the quicker they can mine their ore, the quicker they can become richer. Hit them where they feel it. That's 3 of them at least that you're gonna sway with that idea, and then
Well, I don't.
and then you're also going to be looking at, if you're going to have, think about it, they've come from a war-torn area that could sweep into here. You've also got the goblins in the north. They need to bolster their forces,
Right.
so therefore the able-bodied could fight. This is just from a general environmental point of view, to bolster what they currently have, which is what they're trying to protect. More people helping in those sections and those parts of society could make it better, and they would be giving back into the society that's sheltering them. And that's just an idea.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to offer these people to some form of indentured servitude, but I understand what you're recommending.
Oh
It does
yeah, I know.
sound-
I didn't mean. I mean as part of shelter and making this their home. If people want to stay, they could in some way help. In the not in any way. I'm totally against that. It's the reason why I'm helping with the goblins, because they were indentured to orcs and all sorts. But no. Please don't misunderstand. I'm talking about them being able to bolster this society with their influence and their numbers. It's a thing that's going to at least eke into the minds of the people that are trying to keep this town safe and prosperous. It's a way in to begin
Bram,
with.
you continue to tentatively surprise me, I suppose. But tell me, what do you know about this cleric? I sensed some sort of odd tension from their direction when we first were introduced.
I'd give them a wide berth. They're a wee bit close-minded about other beliefs outside of their own system.
I see.
They're not zealot in any way. They're not going to try to convert the world. But what
Mhm.
they believe in is what they believe in, and that's it. There's no room for improvement or change, or it's not malleable in any way. So I wouldn't poke that bear in particular, just
Mm.
on that side of things.
All
They're
right.
not they're not bad per se, but
Mhm. Okay. I'll try not to, and I taps on my chest where my holy symbol is. I'll try not to call towards Saint Agnes too much in their presence, I suppose.
might be an idea.
So you
Before we go in, can I just ask, Lantana's with us still, yes?
yes, sorry,
She's good. She's a good diplomat though as well, isn't she?
yes, but T
Yes.
isn't.
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was
By
just because I
She's
realized
like,
diplomacy
then,
by proxy.
yeah, I
yeah.
realized
Just in case.
that I hadn't said in the intro because obviously I had mentioned the absence of Winter and Bobbin. Winter is quite distracted really as all this is kind of going on. She's really
Mhm.
preoccupied with not that the rest of you aren't also in the back of your mind thinking about Bobbin, but Winter has also found herself quite. I suppose she sees it as maybe more than the rest of you that she's a burgeoning wizard, and it's sort of like she should be able to do something. Like, is there anything she could do? I need more.
Mm.
She keeps looking through her book. She's like got like, maybe like a couple of books with her, and
And
she's
plus she
like, I
gets to
need.
get away from like all the
She's
children
like,
and
I
stuff, and
need.
she's like, no.
Yeah, need knowledge. She's quite preoccupied with that. Yes, Lantana. Apologies, T
Yes.
couldn't be here tonight. But yes, Lantana, the witch, is with you.
Mhm.
As are there's Tolov the druid, the blacksmith, Iran, who is himself a Highlander actually.
And he's the
Uh,
blacksmith, and that would work in the favor as well.
There
yeah,
isn't
Yeah.
only one then.
he is he's here, and Peck,
Somebody in
the
chat got that one.
goblin scout that you would travel with. The kind of important Six Widows NPCs
Mhm.
that you brought with you that survived, or that were kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely until Dave pointed out, I completely blanked that, Wayne.
Thanks. Yeah,
One.
it's
Sorry.
okay. It's a dated joke.
No.
Um,
I found myself making a Highlander joke the other day. That wasn't on stream, was it? I don't even remember.
Did you say there can only be one, or did you
Can
what
be
did you
I
only one.
did,
say?
yeah. So it said when the
No.
blacksmith is also a Highlander. It says I thought there was only one.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there we
that
go.
was too sneaky. I also missed it, but I used to love Highlander as well. I loved all the movies.
Mm.
Good times.
There you go.
Immortal.
Okay. Sorry, I
Oh,
just
we
wanted to
watched it.
double check that she was still with us and that she's good
Yes,
at diplomacy and stuff compared to Var.
I will, on Lantana's behalf. I'm sure some rolls can be made.
Oh yeah.
With that, you
Okay.
see the doors have been opened. There are two members of the town guard. There is also there is right. Excuse me. There is the two of them there as we go. There's a young woman and a sort of a slightly older man, both human, standing at the doors. As you're all ushered in, they see that they rather I suppose rather frustrated. They stand outside the doors once they're closed. Two of them, although two do go inside and stand on the inside, they're looking much happier than the two who are standing outside. And there's a canopy, there's an awning over the thing, but they're standing out in the rain, and the
Oh.
sun is now starting to get low in the sky. So the two inside, there's two dwarves standing at the door. They, Gideon, none of them sit. You come in, he gestures for all of you to sit down, please. Sit.
Thank
There are
you.
chairs arranged on this, and there is a long table. You're all arranged on one side. The Drakengrave Council are arranged on the other in this instance. Gideon is at the head of the table. He kind of looks to the people of Six Widows, And eventually the druid Tolov steps forward and sits on the other side, on the other end of the table, the
Okay.
head of the table. Well, first off, I think you'd better tell us what happened, and we can go into that, or we can also we can fade and come back up if you don't want to explain the whole thing, or if like they attacked, or
Yeah, but also I think if anything, I'd say Warson would want to like rely on like perhaps Tolo, someone from Six Widows to actually tell them so they can get that sense of their
Yep.
home was destroyed. So I don't want to be the one to recount it.
Mhm.
I would actually say that he can actually be the one to
yeah.
tell them.
So Tolov relays story. You can see. Actually, all of you give me a wisdom check.
Can I ask as well, because I can't remember, I don't have it in my notes, is when we were there, wasn't that the part where Vara did try and face off with the Crimson Queen and then
Mm.
decided best not to? So she's like faced her.
Yeah, the
That's fine.
elder.
I just wanted to make sure I was like recalling it right. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's when you almost let me
uh,
get stabbed by a hobgoblin. I remember that. Yes.
Can I use one of my things to re-roll that piece of crap dice?
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sticking to what? Oh, that was your roll. No, I'm gonna re-roll. I want to re-roll.
What dice have the dice gods have forgiven me?
Oh, that was
Okay,
too
this-
good.
this
That's
is
too
probably gonna
good.
be
Can I?
worse. It's probably gonna be worse.
Oh my god!
Oh crap! Can I? I want to re-roll, but I'm scared. But can I re-roll with my? Was it the? Can I re-roll? Was it the boon or what was it? that we did?
Inspiration.
The luck token is the equivalent of in D&D inspiration. It's just
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
no, but just for the
Nice.
purposes of your sheet, it's called luck on the sheet.
I'll use my luck to re-roll. I'm gonna just ignore that crit over
Mhm.
there.
That never happened.
Okay,
Better.
that's a better roll for me, so I'll take it.
I think I tried to concentrate and fall off my chair.
Brambit suddenly feeling very. You know, said there's like you just get like. It's like you kind of really become aware, like you've come from like out in the damp. It was wet. It started to rain. There's kind of drizzle, and you've come in. It's warm in here in the long hall. They're obviously anticipating your arrival. The fires have been burning, and like you come in, and you just feel like the wool in your clothes is really kind of prickling. It's like you kind of feel it like prickling on your back. And
It's
you're
the
just like,
reverse of agoraphobia. It's the reverse of agoraphobia. I don't like being in enclosed spaces. Claustrophobic, I guess.
yeah.
But
And you're like, it's like
I'm just no,
no,
don't like.
very distracting.
I didn't like this. It's not nice. I'm not really comfortable here. Can
Yeah.
somebody open a window or something? It's like a bit of fresh air. No, not for me.
As Tolov, no, you can be impolite. You know, anthropologically, it would be very impolite and improper in this proceeding to, to go stand away from everything. So you're suffering in squirming silence.
Mm.
Warson and Vara would notice that as Tolov is telling the story, several, particularly the healer of the hot springs, Connor Mooncloak, is looking very. They all look rather, they all look rather somber. It's not like any of them are giggling at the story.
Good. Good.
They all look rather somber. They're treating it with the gravity that it deserves. Connor does appear. Then two of you notice in the firelight you can see his eyes are glistening. He lets a tear fall before wiping it away. Some of the others look quite disturbed at Lothor, the orc. Again, is not displaying much emotion, but he has sort of, hands clasped and hanging his head. As it's all going on, Gideon has maintained eye contact with the druid Tolov throughout the entire story. Again, looks, disturbed, saddened. Is a very grave expression on his face. Vara, with the 17, you notice that even, you know, hearing this firsthand, even Buzzer and Claire and even Hamish Hornfoot, you know, he's clearly, you know, it's affected by his mood. It's a graphic, it's a horrific story. He kind of is, you know, fidgeting in his chair, and he looks, you know, quite somber. He's, you know, and trying to steel himself. The cleric, Sister Adis, much more difficult to read. Her face is quite still throughout. You know, she's kind of nodding along, and she's still, but she has that kind of expression of the kind of you know, poor creatures kind of expression. Not like in a, sorry to explain, not like poor
Derogatory.
creatures in an Irish sense, like you know, you poor crater, like
You
you
poor
know,
wee pet.
you know, but just kind of like, you know, isn't it awful, you know, isn't it awful shocking? Although she's a young enough
Oh,
woman.
it is awful altogether.
Yeah, but it's very like, you know, but she's not, say, weeping like Connor is when he's not weeping. But, so Tolov tells the story, recounts the events, and Gideon says, you know, well, my deepest condolences to you and your people. It is, words cannot describe the tragedy that has befallen you. But you must understand that not only as a custodian of your people, but a druid besides, we must think of Drakengrave, of our kin, of the land. Things could be thrown out of balance. It is quite a large influx, many mouths to feed. As I say, I am perfectly willing, in my capacity as chieftain, tonight and for another few days to come. You are welcome to stay here beneath our roofs, eat at our table, drink from our wells. Beyond that, I cannot make you any promises. The council will have to convene, and I will abide by whatever decision that they make. But you are all free to make your case. My council is free to respond. Though we will not reach any definitive conclusion tonight. We can meet again. But, as I say, he will, you know, what, in your eyes, why should the people of Drakengrave shelter the people of Six Widows long term?
Well,
And
I'm not here to implore to you. I'm not here to beg. I'm just here to state facts. These people are from a land that some of you might be aware is a lot more fruitful when it comes to farming. They have developed skills that are a bit more scarce on the side of the realm of the side of where you stay on the mountains. I would say they'd be able to already add some sort of value to you when it comes to an exchange of some sort of skill sets. I've also noticed that there's quite a mix of people here. I don't think that and I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think many of the people are from here originally. Are you not a place where people
there
have
is
built something because
as when you
there was
say
a
that,
need?
people that aren't from here originally, the bard, the woman with the runic tattoos around her eye, the raven black hair, she scoffs when you say people that aren't from here originally. And you scoffs, and then she lets you continue. It's like she's about to say something. Gideon gives her a look, you know.
I'll give her a look.
Not to speak out of turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause and look towards Vara and Bram for a minute and just like Whew, that was a close one. As I said, there are some people here I feel that have built something of this place. And I think there's a history, and like I said, you can correct me, of people building. Our people can also help you build and continue to build. They can help you when it comes to your agriculture. And I'll look towards the prospecting person. And I know there are different ways to grow society and add value, whether it be mining for your ore. Do you not need bodies? Do you not need hands to help you? We have many people who, once healed, will be able-bodied to help you grow your economy as well. So we're not just here to suck off the teat of Drakengrave. These are people who have survived horrors, as you've heard from Toliv. These are strong people, strong of will, strong of body. They are capable of helping and adding value to this place.
And they are proud people as well. They are not beggars. They're proud people. They will help. They came with us. They helped us too.
Yes. They were not slacking, and they will not do the same.
The old dwarven woman, Blair Honeycomb, or Buzzer as they call her, she pipes up and she says, just as Gideon is sort of about before he can speak and reply to you, she replies. She says, "Hey, strong of body. There's nothing but burns, and if you all bogies like Hamish and myself, you know, I know." He says, "No offense, I know we still get out and about and we're not work shy, but don't come here pretending that you've brought a battalion of strapping young folks that are gonna go digging around the mines. You know, maybe in a decade, maybe once I'm in the ground."
Well,
Buzzer, you've been out in the wilds and you've seen the wilds.
Mm.
And you know what they're like, and you've seen what I've been out in the wilds and what I've seen. And these people survived that. So you tell me you don't think they're strong. They're strong enough to survive that, and they'll be strong enough to live longer for when you're not around. And who will take up your mantle? Who will take up the mantle of everyone else here if there's nobody left here to hold that mantle? You
I've
need
got
people.
28 grandchildren.
Aye, and they all love you.
What?
They're all, don't they? So
Congrats
don't.
to you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear you wee drone. You're not even from round here.
I'm from everywhere, and I've seen a lot, and I know what is in this town,
You can
and I
pish
know.
off to everywhere.
Really? Right. Well, I'll tell you what then. The next time I'm talking to my goblin friends up north about not coming down here and attacking and maybe running away with one of your 28 grandchildren, maybe you'll see then if I'm not welcome in these parts. And I'll just hopefully sit back down with my arms crossed.
Gideon stands up actually, as does the hobgoblin, captain of the watch. And he puts the sword in. Gideon says, "Ooh." He said, "Right, threats, is it?
No,
we mean long haul. Threats of bringing goblins down on our heads. Like we haven't had a hard-won peace. Does he represent you? Does he you've brought to our doorstep? Have we not shared bread with you?"
Gideon, you know me. And Buzzer is a mout. And she's going to shout about her wee 28 bairns and tell me to leave this place.
Aye,
when you know I've come and gone.
Mouth. Hot air. Hot air is all it is.
Aye.
Not threats of raiders.
And you know me. And you know me. And you know that I wouldn't bring goblins on this town. The same way that when I arrive here with these people who have won a hard-earned battle and try and tell you that they need your help, that you're going to tell me that diplomacy and bureaucracy is how you're going to decide, when you know you have the ability to help these people and give them what they need, even for a short time.
They will have it for a short time.
And
I've slaughtered plenty of my own herd to feed those poor children.
And we do thank you for that, but I want to make it clear we're not threatening you with goblins or grandchildren, but what you do need is numbers. You will be under siege. The Crimson Queen won't just blindly avoid this place just because you're nice people. You need bodies, and nice people can only do so much with your numbers alone.
And as was
said,
said,
well,
people that can help with the agriculture to bring up the lands, to give up your produce, to build up the stores that are going to be needed for this war that is coming, whether you want it or not.
well,
You have to prepare.
well. If you wouldn't really talk to your goblin friends, if it is just bloviating, then perhaps we could keep lies out of the long haul and outbursts. We're here to be civil. This isn't. I'm sorry. This isn't. This isn't a game of cards in the hive buzzer. These are children who've lost everything that they hold dear. These are people who have been driven out of their home.
Mm-hmm.
And who would much rather be in their homes right now and will probably go back once this war has been won against the Crimson Queen. They will not stay forever. It is not an eternal thing. I'm sure they would love to return home if they could.
And
But
rebuild.
for right now, they cannot.
The captain of the watch captain, you see this hobgoblin with burnt orange skin and a bulbous blue nose. He stands. And he says, "Oh, yeah." He says, "If I might." Says, he says, "I do believe that the salient point has been made. While we may not need at present to worry about the northern goblin tribes, there has been truce between our people, between Drakengrave and them for generations now. This Crimson Queen, the Iron Bloods, are nothing to sniff at.
Mm-hmm.
And for my part, I will say that it does not matter if we are hiding up here in the mountains. Eventually, whether it is in a fortnight, in half a year, in 5, she will come here. She will march her army up the mountains and seek to take this place. You know that
Exactly.
I know better than anyone here the mind of a goblinoid legion. And though they are not all of a same dark bent as the Stula Ironblood, they do take matters of war seriously. And in my opinion, she will not rest. She will not be satisfied just with the valleys. When she has stripped it of all she can, she will come here. So, for what it is worth, and for my part, I know it will be difficult. And yes, all of us, including your people, pointing to people 6 widows, we may not get enough to eat. We may go hungry for a time. But we have weathered as bad and worse. And we will have to live with hard times if we want to see the future. That is what I will say on the matter. And he sits back down,
Worse
Vara
was
will
like
nod
mine.
at him.
grumbling
worse
from
than- yeah,
some of the other
same.
council members.
If I had a drink, I would raise it towards him. But yeah, that at least someone.
That warrior nod of just,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah. I see you. You see me.
Yeah, this is
At
a
least we're
very
on the same page.
distinguished elderly goblin. He carries himself with his shoulders back, very like an officer. You know.
Hmm.
The authority.
Mm. And he said, and just for his saying, he says, and yes, he says, if I may answer for our chieftain, your point, madam, and he said to Warson,
Mhm.
yes, he says, though long ago, this place was founded by a ragtag coalition,
Mhm.
humans of the hill tribes, wandering dwarfs driven from the mountain, and they came here. Since new traditions have come, and clans, very old and storied, and they look at the bards and honored. But even recently, and I know that one is not 100, but myself, young Lothor here, certain other outcasts have been taken into Drakengrave. It has been made my home these decades now. I would like to keep that in mind. As I say, one is not 100. But perhaps in time, we could have 100 Lothors. So I apologize. I have taken much time, and I would like to hear from my fellow council members. As he does, there is the bard
Mm,
speaks up, and she says,
the scoffing bard.
"Yes, well, she says the wind singer Orna Stormhawk is up again, pale and raven-haired, very long, sleek, straight black hair, emerald green eyes, one of which the right is framed by runic tattoos, and she's wearing this light grey, almost white and sky blue tartan. She says, well, you know, says it's all fine and dandy, and of course, Durian, yes, you are welcomed, and you are respected. None respect you more than I. You're a fine man. But that does not change the fact, as you say, one is not 100. And you say, what if these people, we have no guarantees
Mm.
that the Iron Blood Legion will make its way here. And even if we did, maybe we could defend them if they come soon, and we have all of these infirm people to look after, then Drakengrave may fall. And with that destruction, a proud tradition and culture of the Highlanders will fall and be lost to the winds of history, scattered like ash. I will not see that happen, not to my people. So no, I must say, and though I know it is tragic, and I am sorry, but no, they must be turned away. She sits.
Bunch of convenient what ifs.
You have not stared into the face of the Crimson Queen to know she is on the way. What if?
Well, if she is on the way and she arrives soon, I'd rather not have the burden of all of these mouths to feed.
No, you
A
just want to
siege.
toss them outside the gate to be left defenseless. Oh, okay, I see how this goes. Understood.
There's
Well,
nothing you
my
can do to
kin are my
prepare.
concern.
Your kin need protection, and you need numbers. There's
We
nothing you can
protected
do.
these people.
Hmm.
Well, then they will do fine without Drakengrave, and you can protect them on the road north.
It's nice to know that you like to see the murder of children, but that's fine.
She rolls her eyes.
I just want to read the room.
Hmm.
All right, so
Well,
after what she just said, does the rest of the room seem to be uneasy? Are they not into what she was saying, for example?
Hamish and Buzzer nod a bit. The cleric is still sort of silent.
Hmm.
And look, Hamish has said, he says, look, this, I know, as I said, it's tragic, but it is just logistical. There are simply not enough resources to go round. And first and foremost, one must look after their own herd, or else we'll all perish.
So you'd rather we perish now and you'll perish later, rather than as a group we can work together, improve our chances of survival? You want to perish with a full belly? Fine, you will still perish.
That is your opinion, but ye don't have a crystal ball.
I have seen many things to not need a crystal ball. As my friend just said, the Crimson Queen will not care. She won't come
As we do.
knocking. She'll come barraging in.
The human Rowan Riverglint speaks up. They are middle-aged human, sort of slender with sort of whipcord muscle, suntan skin, and mud brown hair. Mud brown hair. It's been bleached blonde. You can see in parts. Swept back and straight to the nape of their neck. You see small scars here and there on their palms and their fingers. And they say, well, Hamish, you speak of resources and, what there is to go around. Says, but if 6 widows and soon after, hopefully not too soon, the other settlements in the valley are decimated, as 6 widows has been, then trade will suffer. In the long term, you would have no one to trade with. You'd have nobody to sell wool to sell meat. We're up here in our little oasis, but you know how important the trade routes are for us. And he says, he points, and it is this point you realize that Rowan knows Eleanor, seamstress who was with you, and her sadly
Oh no.
departed wife,
Oh
Brynver,
God.
who died in the fighting. He
Oh
says,
gosh.
and he says, long did I trade with Eleanor here, and realizing what this means, that they're not there, and he puts their hand on their heart, and he says, and Brilda, I think it's only fair that we do right by the people. You speak of kin. I have kin that I would happily never see again. But I have neighbors, and he points, that I am saddened to now know that I will never share another cup of mead with.
Hmm.
No. Well, I'll say that's my piece on the matter. They sit down.
See, you don't live in a vacuum. Drakengrave is not a singular place. You've been affected without even being in the fight already. You must see that.
Well, I think we have yes. Sorry, what am I looking at? Aaron, the blacksmith, briefly does speak up, and he says, no, I am a son of Drakengrave. It's home to me. It is a fine place. Six Widows. It's a fine home to me as well. And I can attest to what Warson here has said, and Vara and the others, and Bram. These are a strong people. And in time, they will strengthen Drakengrave as well. Like good iron. What we put into it and forge into steel. Iron alone cannot be as solid, as hard, or as sharp as steel. It is the combination that forges it into something greater. Now, somebody mentioned some goat going, and Gideon gives a almost like he was threatening to smile. He says, he looks to the guys, says aye. Says, kind of rubs his eye. He says, Bryn, says, go see what's happening with that food. It's one of the guys.
Bram is going to step forward for a second, and cautiously, and just going to give a cautious wave to Warson and say, I just want to say one thing, and I'll maybe confrontational. And Buzz, I apologize if I was brash earlier on, that I've spent a lot of time with the goblins, so I can be a bit sharp. So I do apologize for you and your 28 wee bairns. I'm sorry. But might I offer a wee bit of light at the end of this tunnel? Most of you know who I am and what I do. I have walked these lands for countless years, seen every corner of what these realms have to offer. I know places for foraging and harvest that many of you do not. Secret places. Some are used by goblins, some by hermits and small bands of travelling tradesmen for sustenance. But I am willing to lend my services to the town of Drakengrave in order to teach you how to find these places and build your food stores for the coming months, where there'll be sustenance. It may not be goat, you may have to go a wee bit vegan for a bit, but people will be safe and fed. A little bit of spice, a mushroom tastes like a steak, I promise. But
let's just say that Rowan does the trader, the representative of the wouldn't be the leader, he's a representative of, and Bram, because you've traded around the town, and they operate the general store, but it's a co-op, like it's cooperative, so it's they're just the representative. They say says, well, speaking of truce and our visitor here, he does know something of the ways of the goblins. Has Bram already had contact with those northern goblins?
yeah, so Bram, this is the point
with that tribe. Yeah,
he has. There's a particular tribe that he treats with, and he's friendly with, and they're friendly with him, and they've, through him, by proxy of him, have actually traded with Drakengard.
Oh yeah, so that has already happened, which is what he was going to say, which is like, well, that's for more people. If there's a bit more that they could take on. He says, look, this more people, as I say, better trade. It could open up avenues to and even Hamish is a bit like trading with goblins in the first place. I know it was a goblin that took my sheep, Bessie.
Well, bless Bessie, but I'm sure that not every goblin has ill intent for this place. But
Oh no, they don't. And the ones that I trade with and treat with on a regular basis actually have done trade with this town. And on that note, may be of some assistance if needed. Because if Drakengard falls, the northern tribes are next.
Well,
And
They're
they don't
infested.
yeah,
want
the
they don't want war on their doorstep any more than you do. So maybe this is something that could at least be sowing the seeds of some form of long-lasting peace and treaty of an alliance with the clans that would benefit everybody, making these lands even safer or more viable for all. Your trade
the
is gone with it with these people. Your trade is no longer existent. It's gone. The Crimson Queen has wiped it out. But why not open trade with the northern clans? They number in the thousands.
Hang on, sorry now. Wait, PD is being slow.
It's okay.
Sorry, Wayne. My PC was the audio was breaking up there for a second.
That's okay.
Um,
What I said was
Sorry,
fantastic. It was really well put.
wonderful.
And
was
I think
like
Perfect.
all of us
It was
should get
inspired.
advantage from the inspiration that was thrown into.
Yeah,
And
advantage.
he's just convinced them all, like, yeah.
Yeah,
They all just
and
were
we,
nodding along.
I'm
Mm.
sure.
yeah, and we were each given a sheep and a goat. Just
Sounds.
to-
It sounds. Yeah. It sounds like the Crimson Queen is dead now. So
Yeah.
probably just hacking the.
He just
the
convinced her to
gold
go.
plan.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
power of friendship.
Convinced her to marry Bessie the sheep.
That's all she's looking for. She's looking for
Yeah.
Bessie. That's pretty
Yeah.
much the treat of her whole thing.
Rep said even the
Yeah.
chat gets inspo. He was that good.
Yeah.
Bless
Exactly.
Bessie.
Yeah. The bard Orna, she speaks up and she says, "Oh yeah, yeah." She says, "Oh well, yes, that's great, isn't it? Oh yeah, why don't we'll just nip up there and we'll just recruit a goblin army. I'm sure they'll fight off their cousins." And
Have you met a goblin?
and
They
actually,
fucking
as he
hate
says,
their cousins.
the
Yeah,
hobgoblin
have you met your cousins?
watch captain actually since he says, and he kind of has it. He says, he says, perhaps it's not such a mad idea. He
Who
says,
better to
Mr.
ask about the
Bram
tactics?
says, now you must answer me honestly,
Aye.
and I realize you are perhaps not a military tactician, but what do you think, seriously, are the chances that the oh god, now it's slipped my mind. I think it's the rubblehide.
Yeah.
That the rubblehides could be convinced to stand against the Iron Blood Legion rather than
Join them.
hold up in the. He says, because if I, what do you think are the chances?
I think your chances of convincing them are rather quite excellent if you're going to send me to ask the question, because I'm like, like that, good buddies. But I will say this: who better to ask about the tactics of a goblin army than goblins?
He says, well,
That's
I must say,
Yeah.
truth.
in this instance, the legions of the south are quite a different beast than the mountain clans. But I take your point.
The
will
lineages
have-
can actually, and he starts to go into a really
Yeah.
boring tirade of
Yeah.
of lineages of goblins, and has a couple of scrolls of family trees.
You
And
Bram,
don't
that's
need
like,
to.
Bram. That's
Yeah.
lovely. Maybe once we have
right,
time to speak
okay,
to all these kids.
it's
Please,
oh, okay, right.
I left my homeland to get away from discussions of goblin dynastic politics.
It's rather fascinating once you get into it, actually, but maybe later.
It is
Okay,
not
fine.
fascinating when you are in it, believe me.
And I'm gonna just look at where I'm like, maybe
What I
tone it down.
Well, Gideon says, he says, look, and throughout that there is also, obviously they don't all, show their hand. Lothor has said, that, he would vote essentially to say, no, I think long term, if, a bit of, if they can establish a bit more agriculture up in the Highlands, it would go well for them. The Vale folk know how to sort of get the biggest yield out of what they're planting and all that. Connor, the Connor Mooncloak, the healer, he does speak up briefly. He's pretty straightforward in saying, like, I'm sorry, I know, you all have your reasons, but by she's he says ancestors instead of Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ. We have to let them in, It's like, this is, I mean, we couldn't live with ourselves. How could we hold our heads up if we survived? Rather better to die,
Well, your bard seems to think that they're all right to die.
Yeah, it's better to have
So
some
as
common
that is said,
decency.
there's
She'll
so
mutter
long as
it.
it's
Don't worry.
the cleric is pretty silent, but eventually, as this discussion is sort of wrapping up, it gets late. Food has been brought. You kind of break, and Gideon stands and he says, "Well, look, we can discuss this more. Well, not tomorrow. Let tomorrow not be tainted by such discussions. You can enjoy the festivities. For now, you've had a long road. I'm sure you are eager for some rest. So, just please take food and drink." He says, Bryn and Helen here will show you to where the rest of your folk are staying, at least for tonight. We will continue to deliberate, but I think we should call it here for now. There's much to be done.
More progression can be had after food, and we all have clarity.
True.
So with that,
And remember the words that we have spoken tonight, and she'll stare that into the bard and the little halfling.
Yeah, but I'm still looking at the cleric. I still don't have a good feeling about that cleric.
She gives you like a sort of a very holy smile,
Oh yeah,
Can I
suspicious.
can I lean in and go, are we getting that one too?
And I'll whisper back. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah.
So as Gideon, on that note, and as Gideon, says, look, we're essentially, we'll break here. The Drakengrave Council, as you retire, they continue deliberating, and you hear some raised voices, discussion. You see torches burning long into the dark wee hours of the night. Sleep finds you in a series of a couple of large barns where the survivors of Six Widows are sort of huddled on, straw beds and whatever can be cobbled together. But they are dry. They are warmer than they have been, and have eaten better than they have in many days. And with that respite, we are also going to take a break there for 5 or 10, and we will be back shortly.
Woo.
See you in a bit, folks. Hey everybody, welcome back to Against the Crimson Queen. When we just left off, sorry, we had retired from the long hall, the council chambers of Drakengrave. At which point, sleep eventually finds you all.
DM, just really
And
sorry,
in the morning,
just to jump in real quick, because
yes, sir.
is there something I can do real quick before when everyone starts to drop off? I want to sneak away to do something.
Yeah.
So just want to put that in there. Sorry.
Anything you want to do.
So everyone's dozing off, and Bram is going to sneak out in the cover of darkness. I have the ability to turn myself invisible once a day, so I'm going to, before the day ends, I'm going to turn myself invisible and sneak over to where the goat farmer's gaff is. And
Nice of
I
him.
have, yeah. So a few things are going to happen. So I'm very much now. Well, initially I was going to mess with him and fuck around with things. I want this to go well, so I'm going to find the outskirts of his. So where in the town, just for my own sense, because I don't want to just stick this in here if it doesn't make sense. But where in the town is the goat farmer's residence?
He does have um a house. He kind of in the village, or in the town rather. Now his herd and everything is farther up away, but the mountains. It's kind of, he doesn't have the house next to it up high in the mountains. They're kind of, as you would, he goes up to the herd with everything. So they
Okay.
graze up in the mountains. So he does have. It'd be kind of close to the edge. It's up relatively high. It's fairly. There's not like a huge amount of houses around it. It has he likes a bit of privacy. He has like a bit of a yard and fairly high walls, which suit him. They don't need to be that high to hide him, but
Right.
it is.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is Ram, and this is just me putting a bit of lore on the character, with his anthropology and the goblins. Ran has drop points throughout the landscape to communicate with the goblin
Makes
clans.
sense. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to mark the goat herder's farm, and I'm going to mark would I know where his goats are? It's not a sentence I thought I'd ask, but there you go.
Maybe not. Well, do you know what? Just give me a d20.
Okay, here we go.
11 or above. 10.
Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, I don't know. Okay, here we go. What did I get? Yes.
Yeah, that's the roll we needed. I mean, for goats, but it's a good roll.
Yeah, look.
Good. Yeah. Well, yeah, because
One might-
otherwise you would. I mean, you're obviously familiar with the town generally and more of the wilderness, but otherwise, I mean, you wouldn't know which herd belongs to
Okay.
the Hornfoots, which belongs to the Stormholes, which would whatever any it could be any goats, but
One might say that.
where his everybody knows he's the he has a prime spot
Okay.
on the mountains. Yeah,
Okay.
big.
One
I
might say
mean,
that
very
that
large. He's
Okay.
He's two
Okay.
probably a couple of hundred, probably 200 to what did we deal have at least
So-
200 goats.
I'm going to go to my drop point. I'm going to mark the residence, but I'm going to go to the drop point. I'm going to leave a note for the clan that are closest and the ones that would be generally terrorizing the goats. I mark to say that they're off limits. In fact, they have to be protected. And if they can, return Bessie.
Bring back Bessie.
And put a note in there and say these goats are protected. Park it in space, and just leave it there.
Yeah. So we'll see, obviously, how effective that is, how willing they'd be to listen to it, and yeah, as you said, because there wouldn't be like real constant kind of very heavy cattle raids, but it's definitely the kind of thing that even though they're not supposed to, that might have been in the past. The goblins, I mean, there's definitely goats go miss, livestock go missing from time to time. Was it a wolf? They take just enough that you could
Yeah.
plausible deniability, just say wolves got them or whatever. There's big eagles that go hunting around here. They every so often it's like they might just take a sheep. Particularly young goblins. They go out for a bit of
Like they're hazing
bit of a
other, like
crack.
it's part of the thing. Yeah.
It's
So
very violent cow tipping.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Down the mountainside.
yeah. Yeah, and then
Um,
these goats, they actually have a number, and he would have a number of different kinds. There's kind of like smaller ones, which are very they produce a very nice fine wool. They're like goats, but they're very woolly, like very much like a sheep.
sure.
But they also have a larger
Proper
yeah,
Highland goats.
yeah, and then they have like big horns, which are kind of like Highland cattle, but in goat form. They got they're more beast of burden, so they do have these kind of more big beast of burden, big Highland bull yak looking things.
I also want to put in the note that I say I'm also wishing to treat with the chieftain in the near future to talk of an alliance and trade boons that would be beneficial. Just to put that note in there, so it's
Absolutely.
in the drop point, they're aware of it, and they know that people I want to reach out and have a conversation.
It's a good idea. I won't be with the invisibility to be no role. You can see when you're at home, fires on. Mrs. Hornfoot, is she's she's up. You can hear she's
Hey.
snoring away with a bit of knitting, on her lap, and falling asleep. There's some kind of sheepdog, whatever, curled up with the fire. She's home, but otherwise all is well, undetected. Again, before sleep is obviously if there's anything that anybody wants to do, please feel free. But otherwise, we can just to the morning.
Yeah, there wouldn't be much for Vara. She'd just make sure everything's like everyone is okay. Every one of the people that were there has got a bed. Everybody's had something to eat. Everybody's okay for the night, that kind of way, that nothing's bothering them. No little halflings are bothering them. And she's given word around to say that if he does bother them, if she gets more than 3, but yeah, she'll just make sure everything's sharp and ready to go, just in case.
Actually, apologies, I forgot that actually this is happened at night, not in the morning.
Ooh.
There had been some time. It's not like when you left the chambers, it was immediately like everything was dead. You didn't go to sleep. As you were going, you were chatting to some people, and that night you had maybe an hour or so. Even again, Bram obviously at some point slipped away. But Winter, the wizard, comes to the group with Bobbin, and she had actually been again on the road talking to Tolov, talking to the others. And Winter says that she was here in town. She overheard some, well, she'll get to that in a minute, but she says that it doesn't know what we can do for Bobbin here and now, and don't know if is this like petrification? Will she be in stasis? And when she's, unpetrified, will be fine, or is time of the essence? The longer that she stays in this form, is she more at risk? Is it, if it is reversible, should they even reverse it? Is there hope for her, or is there some solution? And so Winter says that she just does not have the resources now, or she does not have the resources with her. But she says that she needs to go north. She wants to go to the academy, the school where she learned her wizardry back in Brynholm. And somebody there, she has to go to the library. She has to talk to her old masters. Something can be done for Bob in there, but this is says I'm not made for war. I think I could do more good there, and while I'm there, I'll look for anything I can to help Bobbin, to help us.
And
Maybe
spread the word to
talk.
other towns.
Yeah,
Warn people.
And should be like, just in case this place does,
yeah,
and we need to move these people as well as the ones that we brought.
yeah.
If they turn themselves into refugees, once again, just to make sure that they'll accept us as
Yeah.
for safety and stuff. Yeah.
Bran is going to produce a small, rough, sharply hewn, kind of dull metal medallion that looks like a weird kind of skull with pointed ends up here and a sharp kind of pointed piece down here. So it looks like a 3-pointed ninja star, but it's a face. And he hands it over. He's like, this will give you a safe passage through most of the northern territories. It's a wee goblin medallion. If anyone gives you shite on the roads of a goblin nature, just give this a wee whoop, and they should back off. It means you're protected under the law. Quite handy. I've got a few, and he holds up a little bag. And it's like clinking of a multitude of different.
Well, as we just
was that
before
was that
responding to
sound? Okay.
That is more. Jesus, that is many more subs from on
Yeah.
your end.
I didn't want to interrupt the story,
I
but
know.
oh
no,
my
I know,
God.
I saw the message. My chat does this sometimes, where and it's so annoying because I don't know when it's doing it. It seems to stop because I don't have the laptop for the. I had the chat rolling on my phone, but sometimes it seems to just stop updating, and I don't know that it's not, so I don't see new messages. I must try and sort that out. Thank you so much. I need to think of something on the. Especially this isn't a very combat heavy. I'll think of something to.
You're going to bring back the mole people and try to kill us, aren't you, now for this?
You are not gonna even think about it.
You
are
can
not
see.
even going to.
No, but I have to think of something. Well, let's see. All of these.
No more missing of ShadowDark. We have to commit.
How about that too. Like put that like just manifest that. Let's manifest that now.
I love this game. Yes.
On your end is fighting against the ShadowDark, the curse of the ShadowDark with their blessings.
But that's the thing. That's it. Yes, we now have to stay forever.
Yeah, I will perhaps on your now, unless now on your end says he wants to help the GM, but if they are or they rather sorry, if they are on the if they're on the player side, perhaps. I mean, perhaps who knows? Maybe some I don't know, magic items or something will.
A shopping episode? I do love a good tavern and a good.
Who knows?
Can I steal from the halfling?
I will. I'll have a think of what's. Have a think of what's appropriate for reward you for on your end's blessings, because as you say we're all we're maxed out on boons and luck token. It doesn't feel quite enough. I'll have to think of something.
I'm in shock.
Everyone the chat keeps talking about goat people, goat this, goat that. Clearly the goat of this evening is on your end for all the subscriptions.
Yeah,
capital
you guys
goat.
are amazing. You guys are the goats.
Fair play.
Amazing. It's unreal. Yeah, it's nuts. I was gonna say you give this the talisman or safe passage.
Ben, sorry, on your end just responded there. He said, can you repeat that he was having some difficulties hearing what you were saying? So just about the
oh, apologies.
For the subs.
I was just saying, for instance, I'll have to think of something. I'll take the time more. I don't want to sort of just on the fly.
Of course.
It mightn't be good enough. Worth it. I'll have a think about something to reward the players with something appropriate to the shower of blessings. I said maybe there'll be a magic item for each of them in the future, and I'll have to think of some way to honor you within the campaign itself. So if you are on the Discord already, I will find you, or if you're not, come join and make yourself known, and
we'll find you.
I can send you I will find you.
Set of skills.
I will.
Not menacing at all for ShadowDark.
Right?
I will find you. You Winter says that she overheard there was a group of there was a trade caravan that had come into town essentially for the festival to, they were delivering goods. They're not staying for the festivities because their boss is saying, you're not staying and blowing your wages, and then possibly also maybe
Never
some of the
coming
money
back.
goes missing, or some of the profits go missing on the big, mountaintop festival. So they're off in the morning. So Winter has made the decision to they're going all the way back to Brynholm.
Farah will say like a goodbye to the little one because she was like, she always thought she was quite cute and wanted to save her and always pushed her to back. So she will say goodbye, little one, and you be careful.
I think
And then she's just gonna walk away.
Warson will probably stand there awkwardly and just kind of stare at both at Winter and what's left of Bobbin, and just kind of just like nod to herself and try not to cry and just kind of say, "Well, you stay safe and we'll see you on the other end of this."
I've known you for all of 24 hours, so just don't die. And I'm just gonna walk off.
Lantana, I won't put words into Lantana's mouth, and I can tell me what they would say, but obviously they will at least, sure, they will say their goodbyes to, or their goodbyes, their Auf Wiedersehens, or see you later, or whatever.
See you later,
to
yeah. Goodbye for now. Yeah.
to Winter
TTFN.
and to Bobbin. And Winter promises to send word that with the back at the academy, she should be able to, if anything, if she discovers anything, or there's any progress made with Bobbin's edition, she'll be able to get a message to you. There'll be some manner of sending spell or an animal messenger that she will able. She might be able to do it frequently. She might only be able to send one. She doesn't necessarily have that much pull at the academy. She was only a novice, but she will be able to get a message to you wherever you are. So that is, as the night falls, you find rest, and then in the morning. What's that now? Sorry. Okay. Is this being odd for me? So, yeah, in the morning, the festival isn't necessarily in full swing. I think you wake and from dawn, everything is kind of being set up. Is that? Did I pick the wrong? I think I picked the wrong track. Pardon me. I'll have
The music suddenly gets really violent
rearrange
and
that
heavy.
playlist.
Yeah, I was say this is ominous. This
that was
music
a-
is
What
sound like
yeah, that was
What kind of a
about to go
festival
down.
is this?
It's a
Yeah,
sacrifice, everyone.
I think I
We're
picked
the
the
ghosts.
wrong.
That's what
Yeah,
the
this is-
pentagram on the floor meant.
This is actually the Wicker Man. It's a massive Wicker Man in the middle of the town square.
That was, I think, tabletop audio's Viking Village track. Very appropriate for a Viking Village, but I think I must have put that in instead of the was another sort of village track. So we'll keep this one for now. The signs of the rain from last night are gone. It's not, sun splitting the stones or anything, but it's relatively clear. There are some clouds, but behind the just, they're not grey. There's behind the white clouds there is a pale but bright sky. As the day is dawning, you can see people milling about. Tents and things are being set up. A lot of stuff. Some things were already set up, like there's a couple of stands which were presumably set up in the days previous. But before the festivity, you get the impression that the festivities are due to come into full swing around noon. Now, I don't know if there's anything that anybody wants to do for that. There is, a couple of, I suppose, points of interest. And obviously, you can still visit places during the festival, but people might be otherwise engaged in the festivities. And there'll be other things going on. But if there's anyone you want to talk to, anywhere to visit, obviously there's the long hall. There's the, I suppose, private residences of any of the council members. The main feature of the town is the Hive and Hearth, large inn / pub run by Blair, aka Buzzer Goldencomb. So there is that. There are the hot springs, the titular Drakengrave, which gives the town its name. The petrified bones of a dragon surrounding these hot springs. It's a bit of a, it is a sort of a house of healing that Connor Mooncloak, dwarven healer, is the steward of, along with some other healers. There is a temple where the cleric would be, and there is a general store, and there is also a blacksmith. But other than that, there's just other bits and bobs. Just houses. A lot of people are goat herds. Or like the people in the prospecting collective, they might do a little bit of. It's kind of like light mining, not so much heavy industrial mining of things, but a small amount, or as I say, do a lot of like gold panning and things like that. There's a little bit of industry in the town. There's brewers, the chief one being Buzzer, who brews supposedly the best mead, this side of anywhere. But I don't know if there's anything that anywhere that anyone wants to go or to do before festivities kick off, and
Well, I would say I'd want to. Warson first want to just check on the children, see if they're adapting, they're okay, they're eating. In an awkward way, she's just checking if they're okay.
That is. Sorry, the chat. Sorry, is there a? Why is my chat not updating? Apologies. If there's a question in. Sorry,
There was a
a
question. It just says, "What is a curse? Can't you make something negative things something good?"
What is a curse?
Yeah, so we're saying.
Oh, the curse of the shadow.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Curse of scheduling.
The curse of scheduling and other things. Our first ShadowDark game where there was technical difficulties and everything quite literally went black. There was a blackout.
That's right.
On Christian's end. Our technomancer.
I also had load shedding as well. Yeah.
You had load shedding as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was because it wasn't expected because Christian had his generator and everything, and it was like.
And it's still
It was unexpected. Yeah, so he was quite literally plunged into the darkness.
Yeah.
I think the ShadowDark was showing us who was boss on that first session. So
very much.
Yeah, checking, but yeah, we can do our best to turn a curse into something positive, for sure. I think that's very much it's a bit of a theme of the campaign so far. I think the party's seen some pretty grim things, but that's what it's all about. Light in the
The
darkness.
least of it, yeah.
We're here for the kind of thing we play the various flavors of heroic fantasy role-playing games for, I think, for the most part. So, yeah, the children, you check on them, and it's, as you say, it seems that everybody, it's not like everybody got, a lot, but everybody seems to have been fed, certainly more than they had probably eaten. Especially they'd lately been subsisting on, dried on jerky and nuts and seeds and fruit leather, dried fruit, and things like that. The ones that could stomach it, resorted to kind of grubs and other things in the Underhollow. Mushrooms, those that were safe, that Lantana and Peck, I think, had you know, foraged for and had identified as safe. So they seem, happy with that. And I think just being in a, under a roof, even if it's a barn, there is a little bit of, spirits are a little bit lifted. But you can still see there's a bit of an air about the place. Although, some of the older people obviously understand. It's not so much, perhaps they had sort of fooled themselves a little bit into thinking, of course, we'll get to Drakengrave and then, it'll be fine, we'll be sorted. Obviously, the children don't really understand. I suppose as far as they're concerned, they think it'd be difficult for them, I suppose, to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe ever again. There's a lot of trauma to heal from. But for the time being, at least, they seem in better form than they have been, over the journey. There's a relative normalcy to this situation.
Okay.
Can I ask, are there any minstrels or any musicians around besides that bard one?
Yeah, no, there are a couple of people setting up. You can see some look local. You think maybe you've seen one of them before. There's a couple of people who look to be out of towners. There's a festival on. It's the right kind of place to go. You actually also see someone pulling up. There's a little kind of a little wagon. There's someone, maybe there's, you can see a kind of a juggler practicing. There's not like a big circus or anything. It seems to maybe be like an individual traveling entertainer.
So what Bram is doing this morning, I've started to make up kind of maps and lists of areas within a day's journey for foraging and underground harvests for cave mushrooms and other edible plants that can bolster stocks substantial amounts. And I've made the list and started to put maps. I'm on my way to meet the troll captain of the guard to give him these information so we can get scouting parties sent up. But on the way, I'm going to stop off at maybe one or two of the musicians that I know, but also the out-of-towners. I'm going to slip them a few pieces of silver and say, those barns over there have got a really good captive audience, great acoustics. It might be a good spot to set up to do some sound tests. Maybe just wander over there and spread a bit of jovial fun. And all of that in a Scottish accent, by the way. And send them off. Yeah.
With you.
So,
Could you make me a charisma check just to see?
Oh, God.
I mean,
can I use one of my
done.
can I use one of my boons to make it really good?
If
You might need it.
Roll,
It could
roll
be.
first.
I've got
Roll
3,
first
so
and see.
Well, yeah.
Could be.
But still, hey, that's not
11?
bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. Come on, that's...
No, it goes over. It goes over well enough.
Then like some of the jugglers to go over with the kids and stuff and kind of give them something.
They so well, they're practicing anyway or setting up and tuning. They say, cool. Like the few silvers enough to convince them really. Anyway, you see some are going a little bit kind of like.
Yeah, he does it on the sly as well. He doesn't do it obvious. Like he's just like, wander over there to a wee bit, bit of acoustics in that barn. Like high lofts, solid walls, great insulation with the hay bales. Be fantastic. Really get that sound. And he kind of, as he's wandering past, just throws him silver and then just keeps on going.
Yeah, there is a halfling juggler and a half-elven bard, two of the out-of-towners. Sorry, Nelly.
Oh no, I'm just saying I love that. But one of the reasons why I wanted Warson to check on the children, she was gonna just say try to assure them and say I have these spells that will protect you from evil. So if you if you feel uncomfortable, just let me know and I can cast a spell on you. And I'll actually make a gesture to make it seem like I'm casting a spell across all the children, so they can kind of feel safe.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Definitely. Actually, could you also make me a charisma check?
I mean, I'm not the most charismatic.
I mean,
I told you
they're not going to tell you to fuck off.
No, I'm gonna.
Maybe they will.
Well,
I just might. No, let me add a boon.
Haven't
What was
seen.
it? A D4? A D4? I'll
Yeah.
add a boon. Let's put a boon in there.
Yeah. Oh damn.
Oh,
shit.
Sneaky charisma.
That's not. Yeah, and like I
They,
said, Warson's not Warson is not like a great people person, so maybe this tracks.
No. Yeah, some of the stupider children are like, wow. No,
Only the
they,
stupid ones.
it, yeah, you again, they seem, some of them quietly appreciative, but not, necessarily lighting up. Um,
Fair.
they do, appreciate, but it's kind of, um, okay, sorry, I just, 1 second.
Tough crowd.
Um, Sorry, I was looking. I just wanted to open the Twitch on. I got my laptop just because. Yeah, apologies because I wanted to make sure that the chat, because yeah, I'm scrolling on the Twitch, but it's like it stays there. It's like it doesn't refresh. So I'm actually just wanted to get my laptop just because I don't want to be missing messages from chat, especially since
I will interrupt you.
one of our members has been very generous. Yeah, so yeah, it is they're appreciative. It's a good gesture. And some of them do seem to I don't mean for most of the kids, I mean they do still, I think the convinces a number of them, they don't know really magic. Magic is magic. They've never really don't really see it. So yeah, it seems to lift some spirits.
Worse is gonna walk away because that was the best she could do, and she realized, okay, kids are not her crowd. She's used to like a congregation of people, not not children, not traumatized children.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it.
No, just keep their eyes and ears out for that little halfling or the bard.
Definitely, I've got my eyes on the bard and the cleric.
Yeah.
After that scoff from the bards. Come on,
Oh,
that was out of order.
yeah, it's all right. She's got long, shiny black hair. It might get tangled in something.
And you can actually see
Oops.
her in like over by one of the bandstands. The bard on a Stormcloak. Oh no, sorry, Stormcloak. I've forgotten my own NPC's name. Stormhawk.
Okay, she won't last long.
She's there and she's, this lustrous, shiny black hair, dead straight, is blowing, majestically
Yeah,
in the
you know
wind.
how there's like a lot of sticky residue from the meats
She
and
stands there and
kids
she's
are
like,
around.
she has this sort of it's like a very long like flute kind of thing as well that he plays, and it's kind of attached. It's like a bagpipe-ish kind of thing, and along with the bagpipe, she's also like breathing into it, and almost like a flute or almost didgeridoo-esque in sort of size, and it's all these holes, and she blows like through it, and it's making this very haunting music, and she's also practicing just and her voice. I mean, this ethereal voice. She's
And I ask,
practicing in the.
if possible, that I could ask the kids in the middle of the night, maybe, that they might,
Stick their
drop
hands in her
something
hair.
on her hair. Just something might get stuck, or they'll be fighting, that kind of way with mud and stuff, and just it might ruin her hair or something, just a little bit.
I want to see a charisma check as well to see how this goes over. I mean, some
Like
of them
we'll
may do it
whisper to the
anyway.
group of kids.
Like it's a game or something.
Yeah,
I don't
just
know why I'm
oops.
encouraging this.
Oh, no. The dice gods do not want this to happen.
One of the children starts crying.
Ooh,
Yeah, Vara's not good with children. She's like, oh, I was just telling a story. It was a joke about ravens.
And in the morning, like you see, while she's practicing, like one of the kids goes and like recognizes and just like goes with like a clump of mud. So it clearly has like stones in it. and just
Oh,
bucks it out, lobs it at and it bashes off her cheek, and she calls out like she's and she's yells fucker, and he's like
Like, what
you get
did
up. And then he just launches another one at a random person in the crowd, and it
this is how
hits
we
off the
get
back of their head, and
deported,
he goes tearing
guys.
off around.
didn't see
Wow.
anything happen. Don't know. Did the wind hit you?
Vara said I could.
I don't know that one.
Who's Vara?
Never
And
see,
yeah,
never seen it before.
yeah. Warson's like, I don't know Avara. Do you know Avara? I don't know Avara.
Haven't an ocean. Not an idea what she's on about.
Nope.
Yeah.
That wind, though.
Just
Strong wind.
Yeah, things
Watch
are
out for that.
things are starting to kind of, pick up now. You can hear a little more you can hear the beating of a hammer on steel, from the forge in the distance. More people are rising. There's more chatter, people gathering. Animals are being kind of herded through the town. Some more travelers from outside are appearing. You know. You do
Can
see.
I
Yes.
make sure, like, while I'm kind of moving in between the crowds, making my way over to wherever the guardhouse would be, wherever the head of the guards would be. But I want to make sure that I'm keeping a careful eye on these newcomers
Yeah.
to make sure
Ooh.
that there's none of them are shifty.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, this is an open invitation. These people are coming to this town for a very reason.
Mm.
They knew that this was happening, but they might have also been aware that they're now seeing this massive refugee caravan here as well. So I'm kind of obviously skeptical as who I would be. Bram as a character would be quite skeptical of people in general. So I'm very wary. So I just said, if you want to give me, if I can give you a roll or something, if you want to.
I would say, yeah. I'm wondering now if I could, yeah. Well, give me,
And if I could be
give me
cheeky,
really, yeah.
so I have a talent called Wayfinder, which gives me advantages checked associated with tracking, stealth, so on and so forth. If I could just hammer that round peg into the square hole of trying to be stealthy and trying to suss these people out.
I will say I will give you. It will be like wisdom because it's kind of observation, perception, but you can roll with advantage because it's sort of surveying.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll just roll the first one. Okay, and I'm gonna roll the second one.
Hey. Okay.
I'll take the second one. It's a 30.
Yeah. 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 You're not noticing anything. Too out of the ordinary. It's not anything too out of the ordinary. Some of the kind of expected things that you'd see again is an entertainer or two here. See somebody selling things from out of town. You see somebody. It appears to be like a wood carver has come, and he has little trinkets. Also things like little toys. A little wooden horse, a little wooden kind of knight of some kind, or these little kind of toys. Including actually was out of the wagon a sort of a pricing, which is like a rocking. It's actually a rocking goat that you think he's probably made specifically to bring up to the Highlands to see if someone will buy it for their Highlander child. It's quite well rendered. And there's a couple of bits and bobs like that. Not a huge amount because it is generally more of an internal thing, but something strikes you. It's not what you see, it's what you don't see. And as the festivities are, by the time they come into full swing, things are, as they're ramping up, and we don't necessarily have to jump to that now, but you will notice throughout the day, and as things kick off, long after they should have, it would be traditional for an envoy of the Rubblehide goblins and possibly one or two smaller goblin clans to come to the festival. The festival of Saint Hearn Half Brother is a festival of camaraderie and sharing. Hearn Half Brother is in their midst is like a this very like a giant figure, but he's like all like he's always as they say he's always has crumbs in his beard and ale on his breath. He's like big festing guy, and he was brother to everyone, and he was friends with he loved halflings. He saw them as like his these happy jovial people, even though he was this giant. And it's been a bit of a tradition that, well, the goblin would come. There'd be a little bit of a retinue of just a bit of show face. There'd be some kind of exchanging of a token, bit of a dignitary kind of thing. But no goblins arrive.
I would mention it to everyone, but then I would also make a point of finding one of the council members and asking them, like, what is a new envoy from the Goblin clans all at the festival this year? Was an invite not extended?
If you go, I'd say to go to Lothor, the scout, or the orc. He says, to my knowledge, it was as it always has been.
No reply.
Well, he said, well, to be honest, we wouldn't. They know the festival days. You should know to come. We had sent an envoy on their most recent feast day. Relations were fine.
Did the envoy come back? Oh, I'm not there. God.
Aye. No, I mean, you can be.
Okay.
Yeah, you can be.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. All was well.
I need to go check something. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. Carry on without me with the festivities, and I'm gonna kind of jaunt off and head towards one of my drop points, the drop points where I left a note for the clan, to see if it's been collected and see if there's a reply.
So as Bram goes off, things are picking up. Noon is approaching. The town begins to fill, more with the townsfolk. Everything is kind of swelling. People have started. There's a bit of drinking has taken place already. There's several, but one big one in the same town. There are, big bonfires, and there's spits with meat, dripping into the fire and sizzling. It's a great smell. There's, someone is sort of grilling these sausages, and he's kind of selling these these sausages and everything, and all little bits and pieces, and someone is going around with they're selling sweets, these honeyed sweets is another thing that mead is going around, and it's great. And you're seeing people are starting to bust out tables. There are games begin to get set up, dice games and card games and sort of party games of all descriptions. Somebody is planting a couple of archery targets. Is a couple of people, men and women, and they're sort of setting up somewhere else. They're doing, you see them stretching and squatting and getting their muscles ready as large logs are sort of rolled out, and these massive like stones for shot putting later. Tables are set up for arm wrestling, drinking contests. Some other people are sitting around the sort of stand, and they seem to be having these kind of discussions, a bit of like a Norse a thing, like a public kind of debate sort of say. There's a bit of that. Doesn't really seem official. It's not really the day for that, but there's always a couple of old heads who come out and they want to talk interpretations of stories and and all this and laws. There's all these activities going on, and it's really it's a bit of a boon, really. You're noticing that spirits are higher, and for the first time since all of this started, there's a bit of lightness and a little bit of joy in the children. You know, there's a bit of distraction. It's all very festive. It's all kicking off. And then Bram, you go to the dead drop, you know, the little drop site. And you check it. Completely undisturbed. There's no tracks here. No one's been through. You did it last night, you know, thinking, well, better to do it sooner rather than later. And especially because then you know there would be someone here today. You'd think, you know, like there should have been a patrol, or it would have passed through, but it's completely undisturbed. And with all the festivities going on around you and town coming to life, can't shake just a little cold, leaden feeling in your gut at the silence and the absence of the goblins. And we will leave it there for next time.
Oh my god.
Got the
So-
goblins already.
Goblins.
Thank you
Oh
very
my
much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you immensely to On Your End for it's showing 78
you.
subs. I don't know if that was
Oh
all
my
today.
Wow.
It's just mind blowing.
Thank you. Yeah, that is it was amazing. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yay! I love
I'm
that.
delighted to be back. I know we've
We're back.
life has gotten in our way. Real
Life
life,
has been
the
lifing.
BBEG of
Yeah.
But you know, it's
make-believe.
getting dark now these days, so that means ShadowDark's returning.
ShadowDark will return. Yeah, so thank you all so much. Fantastic. Oh, do I want more? I don't want to be greedy. I do not want to tempt the curse of the ShadowDark.
No, we're
with
gonna
hubris.
No, no,
save
No,
all the
no.
things.
Fair play.
Like we're
Fair
we're
play.
happy
Enough.
you're just in chat. Like, thank you.
You've done more than enough. It's preposterous.
Yeah, fair
And
play.
I will if I can find you, I'll send you a message and we'll work something out. Or if I
They're
can
in the
drop-
Discord.
work you into the campaign some way, you know. Yes. So, thank you all, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
I will be cheeky and say on your end, if you want to go subscribe to Sorcery Shenanigans on YouTube, that'd be fantastic.
Do
Yeah.
yes. Apologies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
that.
yeah.
Sorry.
Do that. Yeah,
And Dum
that'd
Dum
be
Die.
fun. Yeah,
And Dum Dum Die. Yeah.
Dum
Yes.
Dum Die. Yes,
Yeah.
but there you go. No, fair. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ben.
Wayne.
Much.
Really
Thank you,
appreciate you coming on.
guys.
Great to have you in the party, and I will see you soon.
Give on your end a link for Sorcery Shenanigans and
Oh,
everything else. I don't know how to do that on Twitch. I don't have power.
We do it
I
in the
just-
Discord. We can do
Do
it in Discord.
Yeah,
We'll do it in
so
the
you'll find
Discord,
it
yeah.
in the
Promo
promo
channels.
channel. Yeah, in the promo channel, you'll find Sorcery Shenanigans and don't do them. Sorry, what is it again,
Yeah.
Nelly?
Dum Dum Die. Yeah,
Dum Dum
on
Die.
Twitch.
So there you go. So thank you very, very much. Well, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.